What's up, guys? Welcome to the Amateur Moto Show. This episode, we've got some twin brothers who were motocross riders, tried to start a business to help pay for the motocross, and has turned into a Hall of Fame for them. I met them at Springading at Oak Hill. That's a whole nother story about Oak Hill, but I knew that I had to get them on repping the merch today. We're talking to Cooper and Carter from Unruly. What's up, guys?
What's up? Thank you for having us on.
Of course, man. Like I said, met you guys at Springading, Oak Hill, under the tent. Had to go do some shopping in between motos, and just loved your story. My son's name is Cooper as well, so we instantly had that connection there. But yeah, let's talk a little bit before we get into Unruly. Let's talk about your motocross. Where are you guys from? What do you do?
We're from Michigan. Um, I'd say we started riding when we were 5. And I guess the love for the sport kind of always started from there. But that's not what our family was. And I guess we played travel hockey and baseball. Our family's mainly a hockey family, so that was always something that we kind of uh,
grew up through.
yeah.
But we always fell every spring and summer. The bikes are always come out, and we're always trying to ride and whatnot. But kind of got put on the back burner for a couple of years. But I guess
Once we graduated high school, we really wanted to get more competitive in it. We always did some local stuff around in our area. We have a couple really good local pros that we always looked up as we were younger too, and now it's pretty cool now that we're working with them, and sometimes we ride with them. So I guess being competitive in the sport is the main reason we started the company.
Yeah. So you started riding at 5. Were you guys on P Dubs or what were you
Yeah,
riding?
yep, Yamaha 50. And then we got on KX65s after that.
Nice. And so, what are some of the tracks or what are some of the series that you raced when you were younger?
Our local race, our area is the D14, but we haven't done a ton of in that. We've done some like uh, off-road, but also a lot of like free riding, I guess. So it's in the other local because we're right on the line of Michigan, Ohio. So that's also D4 or D12. Um, but some of our local tracks are like Super Coupe, Twisted.
definitely grew up going to Twisted quite a bit when we could. But
Red Bud is like 2.5 hours from us. So
Redbud.
yeah.
Nice. So, okay, so I said this before we had jumped on the call, but looking through your Instagram, you guys do a lot more than moto. What are some of the other activities that you guys get into?
heck yeah, we're definitely totally into it all. That's we definitely want to build our company with that because yeah, we do a lot of snowmobiling, snowboarding, um, jet skiing, wakeboarding, anything that just kind of like action packed or like we're not scared to try anything. So I think that's also what is really
And
good
I
about
would
our
say
name.
we don't want the brand just to be moto, but just knowing people and loving the sport. I feel like it's best for us to build in the sport first and then eventually
Yeah.
grow into other things. Like 2 years ago, we went out to Montana and went snowmobiling because that's what we love doing in the winter. We always go to UP living in Michigan. Um, but also, like, snowboarding is a ton of fun too. So
It's totally into it all and not afraid to try any of it, to be honest.
So who
That's
knows what
awesome.
it leads into in the future? Like it could be off-road trucks, it could be anything like that. So we'll see where it leads to, I guess.
Do you guys get that from your parents or
Um, Not really, honestly. I think just us two being together all the time and competitive, we just definitely love like anything that goes faster, like with a motor, I guess you'd say. But um, our parents were always definitely supportive of anything that we were willing to try. But I guess since we graduated, we really just took life by like anything that we were into or going at it, I guess. But definitely some supportive parents, but definitely kind of just teaching ourselves a
Yeah.
lot of it, I guess you'd say.
Well, obviously, there's two of you, so you're not only child. But is it just you guys, or do you have siblings or anything?
Yeah,
We
we actually.
have 3 other siblings, so there's 5 of us.
Oh
So
wow,
that's also to kind of get into a little bit of riding. So we originally started the brand to be more competitive, to get to the bigger amateur nationals. We haven't been to Loretta's, so it would be awesome to get to that point. I know we could. It's just hard to manage the company and working, and also get enough seat time. But I mean, it will work out if it's meant to. So, with that being said, like this year, we're just trying to get on the bike and enjoy just riding in general more. But as our siblings get older, 2 of them are 6 and 8. So now the focus for us is kind of a little bit on
Kinda.
them and trying to get them into the sport. One's a girl and one's a boy, and I think for the girls, the sport's grown a lot, so it'd be really cool to kind of get her into the sport. And obviously, for guys, there's a lot of opportunity too. But now we also enjoy it. Like I said, it would be sweet to accomplish a few things for ourselves in the sport. But with them getting older, they both enjoy it. I would say little sister's a little more nervous about it, but she really does enjoy
sure.
it. Um, but with them getting older, we'd like to
Say
kind of
the
focus on them and kind of give them the sweet setup that every kid dreams of, I guess.
Yeah,
the goal
that's so.
transition a little bit. Give them a little bit whatever they need to make things happen.
Yeah. As
That's so
long as they
awesome.
enjoy it. There's no pressure
Yeah,
on, but if that's what they like, we enjoy it too, so we don't mind helping them out.
But there's 5 of us total. We're the oldest.
And then our other sister is a senior this year, and she's getting ready to. We're not sure where yet, but she's getting ready to go play volleyball somewhere. So
that's
that
sick,
time.
dude. That's so cool that the big brothers are wanting to build something not only for you guys to enjoy the fruits of your labor, but the little siblings as well who want to get into moto. That's just so
Heck
cool.
yeah, yeah. I definitely
All right, so
want to lead a good path for them.
yeah, that's awesome. All right, so I mean, I think this is a good point. Let's talk about Unruly and how that came about. I know that you guys had said that you started the company in hopes to be able to afford the sport, and it just kind of took off from there. So let's talk
Yeah,
about Unruly.
for sure. Well, we're definitely very like into entrepreneurship and always wanted to own our own thing for sure. Like we knew that through high school. But we were kind of figuring out what that would be, right? So obviously our last name is very fitting, Ruly, and it's pronounced that way too. So that's how we got our name, and then or like the brand name, and then yeah, we did start it to try to afford the sport or like fund it, I guess you would say. But then we kind of gotten some traction, and with our age, we're 20, so with our age, we're like we kind of need to make something happen. Uh, Deciding that point, where the business relies on us, but we can't get hurt, but then pushing hard enough. So, um, yeah, we definitely take it where every time we show up to the track, 110%, but the business does rely on us now, so it's kind of growing where we got to be prepared and show up for that too. And we've definitely gotten some great support from the Moto family, so we're very appreciative of that, and just trying to kind of grow and see what we can do.
What is it? Why an apparel company?
To be honest, I don't exactly know why it became apparel, but we kind of came up with that idea with it being unruly, and we thought it was like super fitting for the type of sport, I guess. Even though we don't want it just to be moto, but uh, the apparel, I mean, maybe it leads into something else.
Yeah,
We
but
don't know. We're
just
totally open for it, but right now the apparel's working, so I guess we're going with it.
yeah, and honestly,
No,
totally can see a vision to build on it, and it is cool seeing people wearing your shirts and whatnot, but like totally think we can make it something just great, and a lot of cool shirts, a lot of cool, just story behind it too, so.
yeah. So your motto is live life wild, right?
Yeah,
So what i-
that's
what
one of
is
them.
what is the what does that mean to you? Live life wild. What does that mean to you guys? And how do you bring that philosophy into your apparel?
Um, well, the live life wild kind of came up just like honestly, um, just to be like a positive vibe. Honestly, to always um be that good vibe type of person. Another one we go off of is living to the fullest, and it's just like enjoying life no matter what you do, no matter what it could be. It could be fishing, it could be golfing, it could be racing. No matter what it is, that's the main reason behind the brand. It's just we really love moto, so that's what. And I feel like kind of living wild uh, kind of suits being on a dirt bike.
That and it stems off of us being into everything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like fishing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, racing, anything really. So I just kind of started to snowball, and it's still forming. So like we're figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
But
We're changing designs, coming up with designs, logos, just that kind of stuff. We're still learning because we've been only doing it a year and 2 months. So we
Yeah,
still,
I was about to ask how long. I was about to ask how long you guys have actually been in business.
yeah, we worked on it for quite a while trying to come up with designs. Because I'll be honest, like we can come up with a lot of stuff, but putting on a computer
to
is
get
sometimes tough. So we really try to take our time to um, be like or have good designs, um, but that aren't too much. So it's sometimes a hard balance to find. But also like with the clothing, we try to make sure it's really good quality before we release it, and that's a whole nother thing we learn
just
each week. Honestly, like we're getting better because like we want to come out with more like athletic type apparel, but trying to make sure it's good quality is hard and what people like fitment wise. So
definitely a lot of learning curves.
Yeah, I will say I'm a very slender guy, so I'm pretty picky about my shirts and the way they fit. I love this shirt. It
Heck yeah, I
feels
we
appreciate
appreciate
it.
so good, dude. It's so soft. It fits me good. I feel like a lot of shirts that I wear are like really wide, and I just hate it. I love the hat.
we appreciate
Super
it.
great quality. Obviously, the rope hats are in right now.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I just love everything. We also got, what did we get? We got the windbreaker that Cooper's wearing. My son Cooper got a hoodie. My wife got a crew neck. We loved everything.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
no, we
So I appreciate it a
appreciate it.
lot. Love the
Yeah,
support.
yeah, yeah, man, yeah. So, what were some of the biggest challenges in launching and growing a company that you guys faced?
Uh, to be honest, okay, so we're pretty young, so we did start it at 19. But we look pretty young, so sometimes getting people to take us serious is very like frustrating because we mean business everything we do, but getting people to take serious. So I'd say that 100%. We still deal with it every day.
Every day, but
Um,
we're used to it, and
just figuring out ways to get around it, and I take it. We're definitely grateful, so it's okay.
it's
But
just like uh, building the brand side of it because we're not just building a business, we're also building a brand. So that part is hard. Trying to gain people's respect in a way.
yeah,
So that's why like this year we have pretty big plans and goals to work with certain people to hopefully gain that respect. Like we did work with, for example, we worked with Dean Wilson over the last pro motocross season, and that was like a turning point and a kind of an eye opener for us. And that was a super positive thing we took from last year. And it's just trying to implement more of that this year. So we have some pretty big plans and goals for this year. So, but I would say that's one of the harder things about
just growing the brand, not only the business but the brand itself. You know, the name. You know, just proving itself. I guess.
like what's it take to be cool, honestly. What does it take to sell? And that's the hard part, and that's the learning.
We,
But
and we know it's a timely matter, right? So like we don't expect it to grow overnight, but we want to be right there for every opportunity that's our turning point or like that breakthrough moment that makes us that company. You know what I mean? So we're just pushing hard, but knowing that time's a factor too. So
You guys, before we press the record button, had talked about some of the other things that you're doing outside of Unruly Co. just to kind of keep everything going. Talk about that a little bit as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So originally, getting out of high school, we thought we were 100% gonna do like some like our own excavating company and that kind of type of stuff because we're willing to do it. We'll work hard, um, and it does make good money. But it was the factor of like we're still young and we want to go have fun. So that's why like the racing was still there, and but trying to be on the bike and get better and work a full-time job was really hard. So that's what led into the brand. Um, but so we do excavating and that type of stuff. So we're around equipment all the time. Like going out and building a track for us isn't too hard or so that's kind of factors in and helps us out.
But we were working full time since high school, even with the company, and really definitely long weeks. But to get up our startup money and our costs, we didn't know exactly what the business would be, but we were just grinding and making something happen. And it finally started to happen. So we're trying to get to the point where we're doing just a lot of our own jobs, and it's actually Ruly Brothers LLC. But doing our own jobs so that way we have the flexible schedule. That way the brand can have all of our attention when it needs it, kind of thing. So we do a lot of divide and conquer if we need to. We're both on board 100% if we need to do that. But it's just all for the company, to be honest.
That's awesome. It obviously helps that there's two of you.
Heck
To
yeah, I
divide
know.
For
it.
sure.
Definitely
And
grateful for that.
it's a blessing
Yeah.
for sure. And for brothers, like, yeah, we get into it a little bit, but we get along really well. Like, for how much we are together, we get along pretty well. But
With being brothers, have you guys ever run into differing visions for the company, or for the most part, are you
Um,
guys pretty much in sync?
it kind of works in our favor, honestly, because he might come up with the idea than I do. So,
and there'll be times where like we have to talk about it or something, But then like it usually just helps improve the idea. You know what I mean? Like it's a good turning point. Oh yeah, that is a good idea not to do that. And like sometimes stuff still like we're like, oh, we shouldn't have done that or we should have talked about it a little bit more. But definitely always a positive thing for sure. No matter if we disagree or agree, we end up coming together for sure.
Yeah. What's an example of maybe something that you thought was a good idea, but then turned out to maybe just be a struggle, more of a struggle than you thought?
uh, I don't know. I don't know if this would be an example, but when we originally started, which I feel like most people start in a way, but we started doing like our own embroidery and um some of our like own printing
And pressing and stuff,
and
which is good. You
which
kind of
was
have to.
good and I'm glad we did, but looking back at it, it was kind of like, man, maybe we should have just
Paid somebody or got connected
Outsource
with
it.
somebody sooner.
yeah, and now we're to that point just because I'm being busy, and maybe we go back to that once we
Get
get
own
our own
shop.
shop, and that's the goal. I don't know how soon it'll be. I would love for it to happen
The
tomorrow,
25 year is the goal to have our own shop.
but
Uh,
we never know where we're gonna be. Like I love Michigan, and obviously our family's here. Do have some family in Minnesota, but we always talk about going south, whether that be like Georgia or Florida, or
even
Oklahoma and
Texas.
Texas, like because it was beautiful out there.
Texas. Yeah.
So we talk
It's so
about it
funny.
all the
It's so
time.
funny that you say it's beautiful here. We go to other states and come back and well, I shouldn't speak for all Texans, but I used to think Texas was so beautiful, and then I started traveling and I was like, oh my God, Texas is so ugly. But then,
I
but
mean,
then, but then, but then people outside of Texas come here and they're like, it's so beautiful here. And I'm like, I mean, I guess
yeah,
it is.
no, it's pretty awesome. Like it wouldn't be because our goal for a shop is like to have a compound, honestly. So we got some time to develop and stuff, but that's why we talk about going south. But like going out to Texas and having a wide open property and a sweet shop and stuff would be pretty nice. But at the same time, it's like we would like some sort of place here just because we have family. So I don't know. That's something in the future that we're working towards. But for Unruly, I think something needs to happen shortly.
Pretty soon, but it's tough. Well, we actually, Texas was kind of fitting. We actually raise cattle too, and sell it for families like freezer beef. So,
Oh yeah.
we're kind of eyeing that up. That was pretty cool. But no, we're truly open to anything, and we do like the South a little bit because it's all year round. You know, it gets pretty cold here in Michigan, where you kind of get a standstill. Everybody's got to go south to keep riding or stay busy. You know, so. But I don't know. It's a great state. I think there's a lot of great states out there. It's just what you're used to.
Yeah, but also as business owners, you guys should look into like what states will treat you the best as far as taxes
Yeah,
and stuff
for
like
sure.
that too. So that plays a big role. But I'll tell you though, for some boys that like snowmobiling and snowboarding and all that stuff, Texas probably isn't the
I know.
best
I know.
place for
But
it.
that's the thing. Like with us, there's being two of us. I think we'll. That means we can have maybe a place out west too. Like we
Yeah,
went
there
out
you
to
go.
Utah and that was pretty awesome.
Talk about an
Or
underrated
Montana.
state.
Yeah.
That place was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. So you guys talked about working with Dean Wilson. What were some of the things that you did with him? And then maybe who would you like to work with in the future?
So when we worked with Dean, we worked with him at Redbud in Charlotte, and we also worked with Jeff Walker, which he's a local pro here, and he's got a super big following on YouTube and Instagram. So he's been honestly, we've known him since second grade, so he's been someone we've looked up to, and that's someone we really plan on working with. And we did work with him last year at Redbud and Ironman. But we plan on working with him quite a bit more. He rides at the local track all the time. That's 20 minutes from us. So we plan on working with him.
Then for Dean, he actually, if he sees this, I don't know if he would, but tell him that we really appreciate it. But he actually gave us a chance, which was pretty cool because we're very small. But it was for just the nationals and Redbud, which is our home track, which is pretty cool. Red, white, and blue. You know, like we loved that. We digged it. It's really cool. So we did that, and then I think he said Charlotte.
We did a goggle giveaway with him, and it just showed working with Jeff and Dean how like much traction that helps or like brings to like your profile or Instagram, and if they're wearing it, it kind of shows like, oh man, maybe this brand is kind of cool. So that's just something that we kind of look towards and hope to do more of.
That's awesome. You know, when you start a business, you never really know it's gonna be successful until you have that moment, right?
For sure.
What was
For
that?
sure.
What was that moment for you guys where you know you're looking at each other and you're like, holy shit, this could work.
To be honest,
I don't know if we've had that moment.
yeah, we're still figuring it out. No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I know it could work, and just I think we've done and have came pretty far from starting from absolute nothing. I think we've realized that it can work, and we just know that it's gonna keep showing up. You know,
Yeah.
like even when it is hard, like there is still hard times,
or
but
discouraging
it's
days.
being positive. And honestly, like if we have a rough event or something, or like sales are down at a time, being around and meeting certain people is sometimes what makes it worth it, and sometimes that's what keeps us going in a hard time. But like then there's weeks where we kill it, so it's like I don't know. We're just super grateful for anything that kind of happens and goes away. And to be honest, we just trust the plan that there is for us. So we just have I don't know.
We just keep pushing hard. Everything's 110%, and honestly, just believing that it will work. You know, like like it is a timely thing, but just the believing that it will work, and I truly do think it will. Just kind of still proving itself, and over time, I think this summer will be a big breakthrough. I hope for us because we actually didn't start pushing it until last Labor Day. So this summer really should, I think, help us a lot.
We plan on being at some pro nationals this year, so
At least close to us. Why not?
so that will help a lot. But kind of going back to it, we knew it wasn't going to be easy, but we're kind of enjoying the process,
Yeah.
I guess. So
You learn a lot, so it works out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, as a business owner myself, there are definitely some times when you're not going to make any money, but if you can
Right.
make connections during that time, that's almost more beneficial for you than bringing in the haul,
100%.
100%,
100%
like
seeing
the
that
long run.
that longevity of that paying off. And to be honest, like truly, it's one of our favorite parts. Like meeting you, I mean, we've met so many good
great
people,
people.
just being at the track, and it's like some days like that is such a positive note to take away after a weekend or something. And it really it's honestly one of our favorite parts for sure.
That's awesome. So, met you guys obviously at Springading. What have you guys been to any other big races or?
Yeah, so last year where we started was Ponca.
No, Baja.
Or Baja, my bad. In Michigan, which is like an hour and 45 minutes from us. Then we went to, I believe it was,
The Pastrana Challenge
yeah,
in Pennsylvania, for Jeff
Pleasure,
Cernick.
Pleasure Valley. And then after Pleasure Valley, we went to Ponca. And then
Four-State
Four
Moto
States.
Complex in Neosho, Missouri.
Which-
It's a growing track. That thing's gonna be great.
No, it is. Yep.
it's so anybody watching this definitely has to come out to Four States and come out to like the Bonnie and Clyde race or the Bonnie and Clyde shootout.
We'll be there probably at every event he has.
Yeah.
He's got a great thing
The
going.
track
I think
is sweet.
He's kind of. I think it'll grow with us too, so it'll be awesome. It'll be really cool. And but we follow a lot of the Moto Playground events.
Yeah, I was going to say you mentioned Baja and Ponca, and obviously I saw you at Ding. So in my head, I was curious if you guys just followed Moto Playground or
Yeah.
the Dirty 100 stuff.
Yeah,
Or?
they're pretty good to us. They reach out to us and see how things are going, and then if we can make it, we usually go. So Texas was our first time out there for sure. They just reached out and he answered the email and we're like, yeah, we'll give it a shot. It was 17 hours, so it's not too bad, but still a risk, going all the way out there hoping you sell, But we had definitely some good love in Texas, which was awesome.
It was definitely worth going. We'll be coming up this spring, summer. We plan on being really busy, even the fall. So we'll be at a lot of events. Hopefully, we get some events where we're on the bike too. So
yeah, that's the goal.
That's the goal this year, because that was the goal last year, and we had probably like 15 or 20 hours on our bikes last year. And anybody in moto knows that's not very much.
It's not enough,
Yeah.
and setbacks and
You need that like in a week, not
Literally.
in a year.
Yeah,
Literally.
exactly. So this year the goal is not put so much pressure on ourselves and just kind of enjoy it and make it to certain events, and I don't know, just enjoy it, because that's why we started the brand, was to enjoy the sport. So that's the goal.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit. Actually, I'm surprised you guys mentioned about maybe moving to Texas, because how about that wind at Springading?
Oh my gosh, unreal.
that was
unreal. That would definitely be a huge like con.
Yeah,
why? That's why we're still open to a lot of others. We know a great family in Georgia, and that's a possibility. We're open. We're just very
in
open.
the Carolinas. But yeah, that wind was insane. It was. I have a video on my phone, and it looks brown
Unreal.
in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. That's dust blowing in from West Texas, just so you guys know. In West Texas, there's no trees, and it's literally flat. So
Yeah.
it's just dust. It's just dust that blows in.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah, that was-
we
never
we
seen
ended
that
up
before.
taking completely down all day Friday, and then reset it all up on Saturday. Which Saturday was worth it for us. But yeah, that's pretty wild. Definitely never see any of that in Michigan.
And just so you know, I'm almost 40 years old, and I'd never seen anything like that. I mean, it was like out of a movie, like Mad Max. Or
Yeah.
something.
No, it literally was out of a movie. I was like, man, is Texas like this all the time? Or
And
what?
we asked some other locals, and yeah, they were like, dude, we'd never get this, and like,
Yeah, that was gnarly. It
to
does
see
get
something.
pretty windy at Oak Hill, just because you're literally on the hill. But that was next level. What did you guys think of the event as far as the racing, the setup, and all that stuff?
Well, when we pulled in there, we're like, wow, this complex is amazing.
Like the owner's doing a phenomenal
job
job
there. I wish we had our bikes with us. Like, oh, I forgot to mention, we went to what was that race in the spring? Minios, too.
Oh, yep.
So that place was pretty cool. We actually brought our bikes down to Florida when we went, but when we went back out to Texas this past time, we didn't bring the bikes. It's like, man, I wish
We
did, just because it would have been sweet to. Definitely a place to ride. That track in the back even looks awesome.
The dirt's great. We love that. Where we're at is pretty sandy,
It's really
so
sandy.
we would have definitely enjoyed that track. But no, the whole complex is unreal. The restaurant to the playground to the SX track, the vet track, the moto track. Just everything was phenomenal. It was sweet.
There was a lot of people. There was a good turnout too. So
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly, pretty fun. All right, so you guys talked about it a little bit before we wrap up, but what are your goals for 2025? And then what are your longer term goals? 3 to 5 years.
our goals for 2025. Well, I would say keep growing as a brand. We would like to get our social media a lot better. That's something we're trying to learn and
Probably
get
number
better at.
one.
That's probably number one. Obviously, because I feel like growing a brand, that's so important.
You got to bring hype and the excitement to the brand. I think it starts with good videos, good media,
just posting in general. So we have a lot of work there to do that we'd like, and then the clothing alone, we're trying to work on some shorts, more athletic stuff, women's and youth,
different style tees, more designs, just really improving that, bringing that to a whole nother scale.
Continue working with some athletes, not just moto, because like we have a fishing line coming out just for people that enjoy not just moto, because
we're not in just moto either, so we can reflect on it really well.
That's one of the hats that Carter's wearing, right? That's one of the fishing hats.
Yeah. That will be released at the end of this month. We're just coming out with a couple more shirts. So,
but definitely just bringing the level of clothing to another level. Media, we'd really like to get a shop, or because we actually work out of like our trailer and van, but then also the
extra
bedroom.
room.
Yeah.
So at home.
So definitely need the space for sure. Like you said, we'd maybe get back to doing some of our own completely. But then probably just a couple other things behind the scenes that we definitely would just like to be better at. And just keep growing, to be honest, and
maybe get on the bike a lot more this
that too.
year.
Yeah, I love that.
So I don't know. That's something I feel like though that would be good for some media, is not just other riders on the bike, maybe us too. So
yeah, totally cool, man. It's obviously important that people know that with the live life wild motto that you guys actually do it yourself as well.
For sure. And it's always just trying to remember that, even like if there is a hard time, remember like the meaning behind the brand. So that's also what pushes us. And I would say the next 3 to 5 years, definitely have a compound, and maybe like, I don't know. I don't know where it exactly leads to, because I could see the brand leading into something else.
Some more
than just clothing. So
other products.
And maybe some stuff we won't say yet, just because we want to see what we can make happen first.
Like to try to move in silence until stuff happens, kind of thing. But
I get it.
Definitely would like to make it more into clothing. I think the name could be like just, I don't know, just known for a great time,
Dude, I love the name, by the way. The name is just so perfect, honestly.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's worked out really well that our last name's Ruehle. So, I don't know. It's spelled a little different. I think it's gonna take a second for people to maybe
pick up
learn how to say, because some people say Unruehle, which I understand. Like when we were playing hockey, people always said Cooper and Carter Ruehle, but it's really Ruehle. So I think but that's something that's kind of cool about the brand too. Is like once people learn it, so I feel like it flows well. So hopefully it keeps growing.
It definitely keeps a positive thought always for our vision, because it really can be in everything. And like he was saying, the compound, like we wanted to make it unruly, like just awesome side by side tracks, dirt bike tracks, obviously, maybe some ramps, a foam pit. Like obviously this is all down the road, but just
Yeah.
making that vision happen, and like just the unruly, like
It'll be interesting where it lands, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely cool. I wanted to hear your plans, just to hear you speak it into existence, because a lot of that is just, speaking those goals into existence, and you never know what happens. Somebody could be watching this and they have some ideas or maybe some resources for you. But
Heck yeah.
totally cool. Well,
Yeah.
guys, Cooper and Carter, it was so cool to meet you guys at Spring-a-Ding. I knew once I heard the story of Unruly, I knew that we had to get you guys on, because we talk a lot. We talk a lot to racers, track owners, promoters, but also it's the vendors at the track that make events what they are as well. So love what
yeah.
you guys are doing. I appreciate you guys coming on.
No, I truly
No, we
appreciate you,
appreciate
and it was awesome meeting you. Definitely one of our favorite people to meet. There's so many good people out there, and it's encouraging, to be honest.
Yeah, it
And
is very encouraging.
we
so.
appreciate it more than you know. So
And hopefully we
anybody-
can look back.
Yeah, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how can they contact you?
well, definitely we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
The handle is Unruly
For everything.
for everything.
Spell UNRUEHLE. And then our business is shopunruly.com.
Or unruly.com.
Online.
So should be pretty easy. We're pretty good about answering anybody,
For
just
sure.
because we appreciate anybody's support. So anybody that we can work with or help out. But
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate the time, man. We will definitely keep in touch. I do
Heck yeah.
video production and photography. I can send you guys some tips and tricks to help you out a little bit as well.
That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
no, that'd be awesome. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks again for having us on.
Yeah, for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Cooper and Carter Ruehle.
Thank you.
All right, boys. We'll see you.
See ya.
See ya.
Peace.
Thanks.
Have a good night.